Right before our mating ceremony, my mate Thorn said he needed to mark another she. Wolf, the Omega Mira, the one who'd supposedly saved his life. I have to give Mira a temporary mark. She is dying, Alara. The moon sickness is consuming her from within. Thorn's gaze weighed heavily on me, a storm of unspoken pleas and unyielding determination. I paused, my hands stilling over the moon petal elixir I was mixing. The sacred brew meant to fortify our mate bond during the ceremony, and now he expected me to swallow this betrayal, to let him bind himself to another woman, even if only for a fleeting moment.
Welcome to Luna's Romance Stories. Read the entire novel in one go. Message or comment to tell me what kind of story you'd like to read. Subscribe to the channel for daily updates. Luna reminds you, the story begins now.
My fingers trembled, the vial nearly slipping from my grasp. Are you serious right now? My voice cracked like thunder in the quiet room. It is the only way to save her. Thorn averted his eyes, his broad shoulders slumping under the weight of his choice. Those piercing blue eyes, once my safe harbor, now churned with conflict and a chilling resolve that sent ice through my veins. I owe her my life. I don't care what you owe her. My words sharpened like claws. A mark is sacred. Thorn, it is meant for us, for our forever. Just 1 month, he interrupted, his eyes red, rimmed, a flicker of genuine bewilderment crossing his face as if my pain was a puzzle he couldn't solve. I swear, I'll remove the mark right after the ceremony. She'll survive, and you'll remain my one true Luna. I stared at him, my jaw clenched so tight it ached. I won't agree to this unless you want to sever our mate bond entirely. Thorn's expression hardened to glacial stone. This isn't up for debate, Alara. A life hangs in the balance. Don't force my hand, he vowed. It's just temporary. It won't touch our bond. In a month, everything returns to how it should be. Then he stormed out, the door slamming with a finality that echoed through my soul. His alpha scent, thick with fury, lingering like a toxic fog. The next day, I stood at the entrance to the pack headquarters, my heart a lead weight in my chest, when a sleek black sedan glided to a stop. My body went numb, every nerve ending screaming in denial. Thorn emerged from the passenger side, his movements tender as he assisted a frail, ethereal figure from the car. Mira, she appeared so fragile, her skin pale as moonlight, as if a mere breeze could scatter her to dust. Thorn's arm encircled her waist protectively, a gesture that twisted nausea through my gut like a knife. Careful with the steps, he murmured, his voice soft and soothing, a tone he'd never once bestowed upon me. It was a velvet caress that ignited a scream in my throat, one I barely swallowed down. I watched them ascend into the building, stepping into the elevator bound for the top floor. The penthouse suite reserved solely for the future Luna, me sanctuary. 3 hours later, Thorn returned to our apartment. I waited on the sofa, a cup of cold tea gripped in my white-knuckled hands. Is she comfortable now? My voice emerged eerily calm, a mask over the storm raging inside. Thorn shrugged off his jacket. The pack healer insists she needs absolute quiet. So you installed her in the penthouse. It has the finest amenities, he replied, his gaze skittering away from mine. It is only temporary. I rose slowly, approaching him with measured steps. Thorn, where were you last night? He stiffened momentarily. Handling a border skirmish, I told you. All night long. The situation escalated beyond expectations. I closed the distance, inhaling deeply, the mingled scent of another she, wolf assaulting my senses like a venomous sting. It pierced our mate bond, a ripping agony that nearly brought me to my knees. But it wasn't just Mira's scent. It was profound, intimate, the undeniable signature of a true mating mark. He had deceived me. No border dispute. Instead, he'd consummated their marking ritual under the cover of night. And now, he sought my blessing for an act already irreversible. "Do you even require my permission anymore?" I retreated a step, battling the hot tears threatening to spill. "You must understand, Alara. Her life is at stake." Thorn reached for my hand, desperation etching his features. "You are my fated mate," he urged, as if that single truth could mend the fracture. "Stand with me in this." I wrenched my hand free. "I need time to process." "There is no time left. She won't endure much longer." At that moment, the elevator doors parted. Mira emerged, swathed in a white silk robe I'd never laid eyes on before. Her cheeks held a feverish flush, but her eyes gleamed with unnatural vitality. She glided straight to Thorn, pressing against his chest, like a wilting flower seeking sunlight. "Thank you, Thorn," she whispered, her voice frail yet saccharine, her gaze locking onto mine with pointed intent. "I feel so much stronger already." I didn't sleep that night. After Mira withdrew to the penthouse, Thorn followed. His excuse occurred: "She requires constant care." I sat alone in our barren apartment, the phantom scent of their mark replaying in my mind, each whiff a fresh wound to our bond. The tear in our connection pulsed relentlessly, a tormenting echo of his infidelity. Then, clarity struck like lightning. 3 weeks prior, that fateful night, Thorn had claimed a border dispute, vanishing until dawn. I'd tossed in bed, racked by excruciating pain through our bond, convinced he was injured or I was afflicted. Relief flooded me only upon his return. His clothes carried the subtle aroma of laurel leaves, the holy incense reserved for mating rites. I'd even questioned him. "Did you visit the sacred grove?" "Just passed through," he dismissed. Betrayal never crossed my mind. Our fated connection seemed unbreakable. Now the pieces aligned. He'd marked Mira that very night, and I'd fretted like a fool over his well-being. At first light, my phone vibrated. An encrypted email from the Elderwood Healers Guild. "Dear Miss Alara, we extend our formal invitation to join our research on ancient vital forces. This is the pinnacle honor for a healer, ideally suited to your gifts. We await your response within the week if interested." I gazed at the screen, my lifelong dream materializing as my escape route. Thorn entered as I packed my belongings. "What are you doing?" "Organizing my herbs," I replied without glancing up. With the penthouse occupied, I refused to intrude. "Ilara, hear me out. Nothing left to discuss." I rose, meeting his gaze unflinchingly. "The mating ceremony is cancelled." His face paled, shock etching deep lines. "You can't mean that." "I do," I affirmed, resuming my task. "I won't bind myself to an alpha who has already marked another," I explained. "It is temporary," he bellowed, seizing my arm. "I'll dissolve it in a month." And then I shook free. "How could I ever trust you again?" Agony flickered in Thorn's eyes. "She is fading, Alara. I can't abandon her to death." "Why?" I pressed. "Because of this debt. What exactly does she hold over you?" Thorn's lips sealed tight, silence his only response. "If you won't confide, we're finished." I headed for the door. "Stop," Thorn pursued, dropping to one knee before me, his imposing form humbled. "I vow in 1 month, I'll host the most magnificent ceremony this land. Every pack across North America will attend to honor us." I looked down at him, a bitter irony twisting my heart. Not pity, but a hollow absurdity at our shattered 5 years and fated bond crumbling over deceit. Was I truly surrendering without a fight? In that wavering instant, the elevator doors slid open. Mira appeared. Spotting Thorn kneeling, a smug triumph flashed across her lips before vanishing. She approached, thrusting a folder into my hands. "Elara," she murmured softly, "I know you are a healer as well. This is my medical file. Could you review it? Thorn's alpha essence is so potent. I've improved immensely since the mark. But there is an unforeseen complication. It frightens me." I accepted the report, scanning the details with a healer's precision. The anomaly leaped out, 6 weeks pregnant. Yet Thorn's mark was scarcely 3 weeks old. The timeline betrayed them. I lifted my gaze, icy and unyielding, passing the file to Thorn. "Congratulations," I said, venom lacing my tone. "This complication predates your so-called temporary mark." Without sparing his stunned expression another glance, I retreated to my room. I eyed the calendar, the vivid red circle encircling our mating date. Now, it marked my exodus. Countdown 13 days. I opened my laptop and typed my reply. "I accept your invitation," I halted, pivoting with a stoic facade. "What now?" "It is regarding the rite of the moon's spring." He met my eyes, his blue depths issuing an imperious decree. "I must delay it." "Why?" "Not a query, but a demand. Mira's pregnancy is precarious. The healer advises the moonspring's pure essence would stabilize her. Thus," he hesitated, groping for phrasing, "I've deemed it best for her to receive it instead. Hand it over to her." He uttered it nonchalantly, as if altering a trivial appointment. That rite was the supreme accolade for Aluna, the Pack's divine endorsement. Our shared vision, now pilfered. My heart felt anesthetized, pain a distant memory. "Fine," I responded with eerie composure. My serenity unsettled him. "You have no further words?" "None." "Very well." Relief shadowed his features, anticipating resistance. He proceeded, tone brisk and detached. "I am escorting Mira to a secluded haven in the Rockies. Oversee the ceremony logistics. Contact me only if catastrophe strikes." He ended the call. I stepped onto the balcony. Once my sanctuary of rare herbs, nurtured for our pack's prosperity. I'd envisioned them mending our kin, safeguarding our legacy. Thorn had never ventured here, dismissing it as frivolous foliage. Now they symbolized futility. Methodically, I uprooted each plant, the crisp snap of roots and earthy aroma, a dirge for our perished dreams. A burial for betrayed aspirations. As the final stardust bloom joined the crates, I retrieved my phone and marked the rite's date with a stark red X countdown, 12 days. 5 days remained until the ceremony. I entered the Pack Council chamber in a sleek black power suit, exuding unyielding resolve. The elders awaited, their expressions a mix of concern and formality. "Elara, are you absolutely sure?" The head elder inquired, his tone somber. "I am." I laid the formal petition on the table. "I request the suspension of the mating ceremony." Silence enveloped the room like a shroud. "Why?" The second elder probed. "Personal matters." "Personal matters." The third elder rose abruptly. "This union forges an alliance between mighty lineages." "That is your prerogative," I stated, turning to depart. "My resolve stands firm." Heated debates erupted in my wake, but I strode on without a backward glance. Returning to the apartment complex, I spotted the familiar black sedan. They had returned. The elevator doors parted, revealing Thorn and Mira entwined. Mira glowed with vitality, her cheeks rosy. Thorn's arm still cradled her waist possessively. "Ilara?" Thorn's eyes widened in astonishment. "Where have you been?" "Attending to affairs." We ascended in stifling quietude. "You dismantled the herb garden," Thorn observed, opening our door to the vacant balcony. "Donated it." "For what reason?" "It is superfluous now." Thorn furrowed his brow but refrained from inquiry. Mira sauntered to the balcony, feigning awe. "It is so barren now, I imagine it was enchanting once. It served its purpose." "Ilara, your compassion touches me deeply," Mira said, pivoting toward me with an enigmatic gleam in her eyes. "Shall we dine together this evening? I'd cherish the chance to express my thanks." I regarded her impassively. Sensing my chill, Mira's demeanor shifted, tears brimmed. "Have I offended you?" She faced Thorn, voice quivering. "I merely wish to convey appreciation." Thorn's countenance darkened instantly. "Ilara," he snarled, infusing his words with alpha authority. "Compose yourself. Mira is our guest. You are distressing her." I met his gaze serenely. "As you wish." Dinner arrived, featuring a nourishing broth Thorn had commissioned for Mira. He detected the aroma at once. Heart, leaf, an herb that awakens solely for the she. Wolf mated to the serving alpha. He ladled a portion and extended it to me. "Partake as well. It is beneficial." I accepted and sipped. An alien repugnant force clashed with mine, my body convulsing in visceral rejection, a tangible testament to his treachery. Thorn went rigid. He had overlooked this detail. The herb rejected me now. Me phone chimed. Disregarding Thorn, I slipped onto the balcony, sealing the glass door, and answered softly. "Miss Ilara, this is the secretary from the Elderwood Guild. Your flight is secured." "Excellent," I replied, composure masking inner chaos. "The ceremony is nullified. I am prepared to depart." As I disconnected, a resonant, authoritative voice sounded behind me. "Who is departing?" I whirled. Thorn loomed just beyond the door, eyes glacial. The residual ache from the energy conflict had dulled my caution. An alpha's senses pierced barriers effortlessly. Praise the goddess, he hadn't caught the entirety. "A fellow healer," I stated evenly, brushing past him back inside. "She is venturing to South America for novel herb studies." Thorn resumed his seat. "Which one? You wouldn't recognize her." "Her name. Why must I disclose it?" Mira interjected with a delicate cough. "Thorn, ease up on Ilara. A woman's confidences matter." Her intervention appeased him. "My apologies," he offered. Though suspicion lingered in his gaze, he abstained from further probing, wary of escalating tension. His expression warmed toward Mira as he drew an ornate box from his coat. "What is this?" Mira inquired, intrigued. "A gift for you." Within lay an obsidian pendant, etched with elaborate runes. I deciphered them. Thorn and Mira, eternally linked. "It is exquisite," Mira gushed, donning it. "Is this a mate's emblem?" "Indeed." Thorn clasped it. "I've imbued it with my alpha vitality. It will shield you and our child." He captured her image in the mirror via his phone. "Smile brightly." She radiated joy, eyes alight with unadulterated delight. Thorn dispatched the photo to her, captioned, "My cherished treasure." "It compliments you," I remarked dryly. Thorn glanced at me, a veil of estrangement in his eyes. The following afternoon, I visited the werewolf apothecary for final travel essentials. Nearing the entrance, a recognizable voice drifted from within. "Verify the heartbeat once more." It was Thorn. Through the window, I beheld Mira reclined on an examination table, Thorn hovering anxiously. All is optimal, the healer assured. The pup thrives robustly. Thank you, Thorn said, clasping Mira's hand. The healer confirms the child will be formidable. I pivoted to exit, but the door's bell betrayed me. Ilara? Mira called. Shopping for herbs too? Merely browsing. Hold on, we'll accompany you out, she responded, beckoning Thorn. I'll join shortly. 10 minutes passed before they emerged. How fare the ceremony arrangements? Mira queried innocently. Rumors speak of grandeur. The event proceeds accordingly, Thorn interposed. Merely postponed slightly. I regarded them silently. Ilara, I sense your pain, Mira ventured, drawing nearer. Yet don't forsake Thorn. You are his heart's true choice. Her tone rang with sincerity, tears glistening. I don't merit such a noble man. You are his destined partner, passersby murmured. She is remarkably gracious, enduring for another's joy. Why does Ilara seem so detached? I turned and departed. Ilara, Mira pursued. Please, no misconceptions. I never intended to claim him. She hastened, attempting to seize my arm. I understand your anger, but allow us to clarify. Release me, I commanded, shrugging her off. In that instant, she didn't merely falter. She hurled herself dramatically aside with a gasp, colliding squarely with the ancient laurel tree. Laurels repelled weaker wolves. She knew the peril. Ah, she shrieked, impacting the trunk before crumpling. Mira, Thorn thundered, dashing to her. He beheld her prone, then my extended hand, fury igniting his eyes like wildfire, directed at me for the first time. What have you done? He bellowed, kneeling beside her. Assaulting a pregnant wolf. I didn't. Silence. Thorn severed my words. Before these witnesses, apologize to Mira immediately. The crowd swelled, judgmental eyes boring into me, a wave of humiliation crashing over my dignity. I stood tall, refusing to bend, my vulnerability clashing with the fierce protection I once craved from him, now weaponized against me. But in that moment, a spark of rebellion ignited. My motherly instincts, not for a child, but for my own shattered self-worth, demanded I reclaim my power. I owe no apology, I declared, voice steady amid the storm. For I touched her not in malice. Thorn's face contorted in rage, but Mira's faint moan diverted him, her performance sealing the public sympathy. As whispers turned to accusations, I walked away, the weight of betrayal fueling my resolve to leave this toxic web behind. Alpha, the head elder neared the altar, visage etched in solemnity. Ilara commenced the severing ritual an hour past. She declared the mating ceremony void. What? The elder's revelation struck like a thunderbolt, my chest constricting. The severing ritual. I clutched his robes, voice hoarse with disbelief. Explain yourself. Alpha, she enacted the ancient rite of rejection. He intoned gravely. Ilara has spurned this union. At the altar, guests' stares pierced me. Bewilderment, astonishment, and unwelcome pity. Impossible, I released him, staggering back, whispering. Last night she affirmed its cancellation. She has no right, I erupted, restraint fracturing. She is my fated mate. Yet, she has rejected you, Alpha. He shook his head sorrowfully. It is her prerogative. I whirled and bolted from the altar, heart pounding with a desperate urgency to confront her, to mend what I'd shattered. I burst into our apartment, the door crashing against the wall. Ilara! My roar echoed through the empty rooms. No response. Her belongings were gone. Her herbs, her clothes, the essence of her presence erased. Panic clawed at my throat. The balcony stood barren, a stark reminder of her uprooted dreams. On the kitchen counter lay a single note, her elegant script cutting deeper than any blade. Thorn, the bond we shared is irreparably torn. I've accepted the Elderwood Guild's invitation. Do not seek me. Our paths diverge here. Elarage and regret warred within me, my alpha instinct screaming to claim what was mine. But beneath it, a gnawing guilt. Had my choices driven her to this? I crumpled the note, dialing the pack's trackers. Find her, now. Meanwhile, at the airport, I boarded my flight, heart heavy yet liberated. The guild awaited, a new chapter free from deceit. But, as the plane lifted, a faint pull tugged at my soul, the remnants of our bond, whispering of unfinished turmoil. Days blurred into weeks at the guild's secluded enclave in the misty Elderwood forests. Immersed myself in research, channeling pain into healing arts, forging bonds with fellow scholars. Yet nights brought dreams of Thorn. His touch, his betrayal, stirring a vulnerability I fought to suppress. Back in the pack, Thorn paced the Rockies' retreat, Mira nestled beside him. "Thorn, why so distant?" she cooed, hand on her swelling belly. "The pup kicks strongly today." He forced a smile, but doubt festered. The medical report's timeline haunted him. The pregnancy predated the mark. "Who is the father, Mira?" he demanded one evening, voice low and menacing. Her eyes widened in feigned innocence. "You, of course. How could you doubt?" "Lies." He slammed his fist on the table. "The dates don't align." Tears streamed down her face. "It was a mistake before I saved you. But now, with your mark, the child draws from your strength. Please, for the pup's sake." His protective drive surged. Mother and child under his care. But dignity warred. Had he sacrificed Alara for a facade? In a fit of clarity, he contacted the healers. The moon sickness. Mira never suffered it. She fabricated the symptoms. The revelation shattered him. Mira had orchestrated everything. The life debt, the pregnancy, to ensnare an alpha. Regret flooded Thorn, his control fracturing as he confronted her. "You manipulated me," he growled. Mira smirked, mask slipping. "And you fell for it, forsaking your true mate." He banished her from the pack, but the damage lingered. The child, innocent, now his responsibility through the false mark. Motherly instincts pulled at him, yet his soul yearned for Alara. Months passed at the guild. My research thrived, but a persistent nausea plagued me. A healer's scan revealed the impossible. I carried Thorn's child, conceived before the betrayal. The bond's tear masking the signs. Terror and joy mingled. Motherhood's call clashing with my reclaimed independence. How could I raise a pup tied to a man who'd shattered me? Fate intervened when Thorn appeared at the guild's gates, eyes hollow with remorse. "Ilara, please hear me." My heart raced, protective walls cracking under his gaze. "You destroyed us," I whispered, hand instinctively shielding my abdomen. He noticed, eyes widening. "You are, with child?" "Our child," I confirmed, voice trembling. "But that changes nothing." He dropped to his knees again, this time raw vulnerability replacing command. I was blind. Mira deceived me. The sickness, the debt, all lies. I severed her mark, exiled her. But losing you, it is my greatest regret. Tears blurred my vision, the conflict tearing at me. Forgive and protect our family, or guard my dignity against further pain. We talked through the night, his confessions unveiling layers of manipulation. Mira had drugged him that fateful night 3 weeks prior, staging the rescue to indebt him. The pregnancy, hers from a rogue encounter, but she leveraged it to bind him. Thorn's protective nature had blinded him to the truth. "I failed you," he admitted, voice breaking, "but I vow to earn your trust for you and our pup." Emotional turmoil peaked as I weighed my fragility against the pull of our fated bond. Motherly resolve won. The child deserved a united front, but on my terms. "I won't return as your shadow," I declared. "We rebuild as equals." He nodded, hope flickering. A rogue invasion threatened the pack. Mira's vengeful allies striking. Thorn led the defense, but poison weakened him, echoing Mira's deceit. I returned, herbs in hand, channeling guild knowledge to cure him. In the chaos, I faced Mira, her jealousy unmasked. "You think you can have it all?" she sneered. "I already do," I retorted, disarming her with a surge of maternal ferocity. Thorn awoke to my victory, his control yielding to admiration. The rite resumed, not as conquest, but partnership. Our mating ceremony unfolded under the moon's spring, the pup's presence a promise of healing. As we marked each other anew, bonds mended, vulnerability transformed into unbreakable strength. In the end, regret yielded to redemption. My throne reclaimed, not beside him, but with him, as equals in love's enduring light.